Man, I know Jeff Jackson said he doesn't want to be the Oilers GM and this is temporary, but with the trades and signings he's made since taking over for Ken Holland in the interim basis, I think Oiler fans might be pretty happy if he keeps the role as GM. I don't think he will, but he's been cooking lately. In another trade today with Buffalo, Ryan McLeod was low-key a fan favorite there, but you could kind of sense that he was going to be the odd man out here, especially after the additions of Arvidsson and Jeff Skinner. It was pretty clear he was probably going to get moved here, and he's still a young player. He's got a pretty decent amount of potential, and he's proven that he can play NHL minutes well. That's a pretty good ad for Buffalo, who's looking to make the playoffs this year, hopefully finally break that long playoff drought. But for Edmonton to get Matt Savoy in return, I did not see that one coming. Now, I know there were some Oiler fans who were hoping that McLeod could be traded for some defensive help, especially with the free agency ads up front that I mentioned, but Savoy was looked at as a huge part of the Buffalo Sabres' future. Was drafted 9th overall 2 years ago only. Very high skill, crafty player. He's small, but in my opinion, just the perfect type of player to fit next to McDavid or Draisaitl down the road here. Or at the very least, if he keeps developing the way he has been, that could be a very valuable trading asset for some more immediate Stanley Cup help. He's from St. Albert, near Edmonton, probably going to be super hungry to get a shot with his hometown team. Like, even though it's not for a defenseman, I think Jeff Jackson cooked once again here. Buffalo probably values McLeod pretty highly. If they're willing to give up Savoy here, they must see a guy who's young enough to be part of the future in the core, but also someone who can help them right now. Buffalo also gets another prospect, former 5th rounder Ty Tullio, I should mention that, but Savoy instantly becomes the Oilers' best prospect. That's the one I really want to see next to McDavid once he's NHL ready. That's going to be absolute popcorn. We'll see how this ends up developing for both teams. Maybe Ryan McLeod is great for the Sabres, but man, to turn that into a former 9th overall pick who just oozes skill, plus he's from the area, like, I could easily see this guy being a great, highly entertaining Oiler, especially with who he might get the chance to play with. My initial reaction is just surprise that Jeff Jackson was able to get that type of prospect for Ryan McLeod and Ty Tullio. On the surface, it really seems like he took advantage of a team and a GM who is maybe a little desperate and impatient to get back into the playoffs right now with the players he has, but that's nothing but an outsider's perspective on it. It's a sneaky big trade. Like, you've got to think McLeod is going to get elevated minutes in Buffalo compared to Edmonton for sure, and Savoy could end up being a big part of the future of the Oilers and is now their number one prospect. As usual, give me your thoughts on this one, especially Oiler fans and Sabre fans. How are you feeling about this? I'm pretty hyped to see what these two do on their new teams now. For more content like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. You're awesome.